Welcome to Taking It to the Nub, the 4th of July edition. And we're reopening America as we continue. Today, I have to say I'm back in my lounge. I was out this week doing some cigaring in places, but today from the lounge. But my guest, I promised you this was going to be an epic show. And yes, Epic Cigars. So I'm going to bring in our special guest tonight, Dean Parsons, the founder of Epic Cigars. And Dean is sitting in the middle of the bay in Miami. There you are.
I'm right here, brother.
I see you. So you're sitting in the middle of where there?
I'm actually, it's in Sunny Isles, Aventura. Like I'm literally in a bay where my buddy actually parks his boat. I'm actually sitting right in the middle of the bay. It's fucking beautiful. The sun's shining. It's about to go down here in another 20-30 minutes. It'll hide behind the building. But we were over at Beer Can Island all afternoon.
So we're gonna have an epic sunset cruise here.
Why not? Yeah.
There you go.
Why not? Life is epic, man. Life is good. You know, we gotta enjoy it.
What are you enjoying there? What are you smoking?
I am smoking my sort of desert island. Doesn't matter what cigar, what Vitola it is, but I'm smoking the Epic Maduro Robusto right now. I've got some Lanceros in my case, and the humidor's full on the boat, but the guys went to the dock. I'm in our 14-foot tender, I guess we call it, just floating out here. I had to break off because we're going to do this call, and it's been a beautiful day. But we've been on the water since probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this afternoon. So
very nice. And I'm posting up to you with the Epic 10, celebrating your 10 years in this business.
Thank you, man.
Love this cigar, by the way. You know I.
It's awesome. I mean, AJ really knocked it out of the park with that cigar, and so that's one of those bucket list items that you never think you're gonna get an opportunity to do that, and it happened, and the feedback's been awesome. So we're excited about that, and let's see what's next.
Yeah, I mean, he did a great. I mean, this is just so everybody knows, this is a Cameroon wrap, and he did a really good job with the Cameroon on this.
He did. AJ's got that no one has, and especially obviously during COVID. This was a project that we put together before COVID, and then COVID happened, and so we released it December, almost January, I guess, really, and there's still a few boxes. To be honest, I'm happy if we don't sell it. I love it that much that I'm happy to keep our house. So. But yeah, we're almost through that. It's 10,000 cigars, 1,000 boxes, 10,000 cigars, and a successful launch for sure, and great to do that collaboration with AJ.
Yeah, everything was about the 10s because 10 years, celebrating your 10 years in the business, now probably close to 11.
Yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, from when you started to where you are now after, explain to me what it takes to actually get to the moment when you own a cigar brand that you feel you've made it enough where you can do this full time.
Well, the funny thing is I don't know if you really ever get to that point. I certainly am in a better position in the last 2 years because of things that have transpired, but I always believed from the time I acquired the name Epic and the availability of that, and then submitted the trademark, and started working on blends because I was in real estate at that time. It wasn't Epic was a passion, was a hobby. I always believed it was going to grow into something, but I didn't know what at that time. And then probably when I think back, it was probably 13 or 14 that I moved away from real estate and really started moving 100% towards, growing the brand. And, the struggles have been, kind of nonstop, and they're still there for sure. But, now we're in a different place, from 2019. The last 2 years have been amazing, with obviously Xander Gregg acquiring Epic, and now we've got the ability to travel, market, all the resources to grow our production, cigars, new brands, obviously collaborations with AJ. So now I'm in a place where I can kind of, relax a little bit, but I'm busier now than I've ever been. So it's constant, it's a moving target, and we're still growing and developing what Epic's going to be. And, only the future is going to tell, but I'm excited about it.
Well, you look pretty relaxed sitting in a bay waiting for the sun to set. So it must be pretty good.
I've got, blessed with some good friends, and yeah, I mean, Florida's great. I mean, I miss the Dominican. I do, after 9 years being in the Dominican, I miss being there. I miss my friends there. I miss being in the factory, on a weekly basis. But now it's really about, getting out, connecting with retailers, traveling, sharing the story about Epic, but not just Epic, about, Nat Seco, National Cigar Brands, and all the premiums, and Xander Gregg, which is the distribution side of our business. So it's just kind of sharing that story with people, and really, connecting and creating new customers, new clients, and building the business.
Now, for those that don't know, we'll take them back just a little bit in time. You're a Canadian citizen, right?
Born and raised in Labrador, Canada.
In Labrador, Canada. There you go.
Yeah. Newfoundland, yes, yeah.
Okay, and now you're down in the tropics, enjoying life. How did that? So the transition, you went from there down to what, the Dominican?
No, Turks and Caicos first.
Oh, Turks and Caicos, that's right.
Yeah, I moved to Turks and Caicos in 2005 with a real estate group there, and stayed there until 2009. And it was a buddy of mine. Actually, we had played hockey together. We were roommates in college when I was in New Brunswick. And I had an opportunity to go down there on a vacation, met the developer he was working for, offered me a job. And this is after being in the police force for 10 years. It was just one of those sort of strange things that happens, but I had an opportunity to leave my job and move to the Caribbean. And it was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, went through some ups and downs, but yeah, and the rest is sort of history. And that's kind of what led into the cigar business. But yeah, from Canada to Turks and Caicos in 2005, and then Dominican in 2009 up until 2018, and now Florida.
Now, were you running resorts? Is that what you were doing, or were you in the sales side of it?
No, I was in the real estate sales side, operations, and I moved into real estate sales. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
The other person I know in this industry that was in the resort end of life before he got into cigars was Island Jim.
There you go. Yeah, we built a hotel at the time in Turks and Caicos in Providencia called when we opened it was called the Nikki Beach Resort and Spa. We opened in 2008. It's been rebranded since then, through the market crash in 2009. Now it's called Blue Haven Resort Marina. It's actually the first mega yacht marina where boats over 100 feet could come into the Turks and Caicos and dock, and so it was kind of a big moment for the country at that time, and obviously a big moment for a step for me in the real estate game, and worked with an awesome team, and that led to another real estate opportunity in the Dominican with a group out of Fort Lauderdale, and then we kind of grew that property, but there were issues with land and titles, but that gave me time to start Epic. Even though it was a hobby when I started, it gave me time to figure out what I was doing with Epic and sort of get a feel for the market and a feel for the business. And then I stepped away from real estate and full time into the cigar business. And then the challenges started right from there. So
of course they did, but you hit it out of the ballpark from what you were doing, because you expanded not only in the U.S., but you went to Germany. You made an early move to start to go to Germany and get your cigars on the European palate. That had to be a little difficult because back then the palate was still not shifting to where they are today. Today they're a little closer to the U.S., but
Yeah.
back then that Nicaraguan, that was not their palate.
Not at all. And you know what? And it was the strangest thing in the world. I remember, I think it was a show in it wasn't in Vegas. It was the show in
New Orleans.
New Orleans. That's when that happened, the opportunity, and not just the opportunity for Germany, but also the guys from Alec Bradley Canada. I met them at that time, Joe and Justin Bondi. But the Kleinlago family, Martina, had come to New Orleans, and we had met and chatted, and that's when they wanted to bring Epic to Germany, and it really, I mean, it happened kind of quick. And you know, at one point we were selling more cigars in Germany than we were in the U.S. And so it's super exciting, and we've had great success since then. And yeah, now we're actually just most recently we're getting ready for Dubai. We've got some meetings next week in Vegas, but we've got a new distributor set up for Dubai, and that's exciting for not just Epic, but the Nat Seco brands as well. So yeah, it's exciting, but you never know when things are going to happen or kind of come your way.
You get opportunities put in front of you when you recognize them. You got to make a choice. You either do or you don't, and that may not come back again. And if you take a shot, you got to put your whole passion into it, which you did. You went through some trials and tribulations along the way. We don't have to get into all of that. You and I know a lot from talking to you personally. You got yourself birthed up really well. You connected with Xander Gregg, and explain a little bit what Xander Gregg is. I don't know if a lot of people know who Xander Gregg is or what Xander Gregg is.
So Xander Gregg is a multi-tiered distribution, cigar distribution company. They're based in Pasadena, California. They've been around a long time. Xander Gregg acquired Nat Seco, which the Nat Seco brand goes back to 1965. So it's literally 55 going on 56 years old. The owner of Xander Gregg and Nat Seco brands, Arthur Barbarian. Arthur and I have met, I would say 5 years ago, but now it's been probably 7 or 8 years ago in the Dominican, and through some common friends and interest. And he saw what I was doing with Epic and growing, and he saw the challenges I was having as well, because we had kind of sat together a few times. And then, back at the end of 2018, early 2019, we sat down, because I kind of was at that point where I'm going to shut this thing down or I got to move forward. And things were tough at that time. So, Arthur took the Xander Gregg, Nat Seco took over the brand, and, we've been growing ever since. I mean, that's kind of the Cole's Notes version, but there were a lot of discussions, a lot of back and forth, a lot of negotiations. But at the end of the day, I saw this as a path where we can really grow the brand. And I've always just really believed in the brand more than anything, and not just the cigar brand, but Epic as a lifestyle, and how it kind of came into my life at the time it did. And now we're really kind of forging that path forward. And it's been amazing. It was kind of scary at first. I'm like, how's this going to affect me, and what are we going to do, and how are we going to grow? And really nothing has changed. I'm still the same guy that started the brand. I've got a great team behind me. We've got a full service distribution. We've got girls in the office. We've got massive warehouse in California, and we're really servicing our retailers like we couldn't before. We have more products sitting in California than we ever had in production in the when back in 2016, 17. So now we're really in a position to scale and grow the brands and support our retail base.
Now, back in the early days, and I'm going to say early be like 2015, 16 is when I think I first met you. You had a really interesting cigar you were marketing called Project E. All right.
Yeah.
Still in the portfolio?
Yeah, well, that was a cigar. I mean, we, because of the, all the stuff that was happening with the FDA, we needed to launch, get some cigars. That was a blend we worked on for a while. Obviously, I had wanted to create a San Andreas blend because it was a wrapper that a lot of people are working with, and a wrapper that I like, and I had smoked a lot. But initially I wanted to create a full bodied San Andreas. And when we started, 4 or 5 different test blends, the cigar got so good the way that it was that we basically stayed with the version that we created. And then we had to create a band for the cigar, and the Vegas show was coming up, and we had to get submissions in because of the FDA. And Mick Grant, who was working with me at that time and later went to Black Horse, and now he's sort of stepped away from the business, but Mick created the E band for the Epic Project E, and it's been a huge success. It's one of the most sought after cigars that we make, and it's great. We do a lot with that. We're going to come up with some new sizes in the Epic E as well soon.
So I'm showing the Epic E right here. You probably see it on your screen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what was interesting about this, and I love this photo I took, is it's sitting on top of a cigar prop. Is this one of Kevin Shahan's original cigar props?
That might be, or it might be the guys from Custom Ash in Canada, James guys. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know who took that picture, but it could be.
I took that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
At the show.
Okay, so that's probably, well, in that case, it's probably, sorry, I'm backing up the boat. I'm drifting here. But that was probably a Custom Ash from Peter James, or I guess Custom Ash guys at the time, and then they evolved into the Peter James leather case as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, as you moved on and continued to grow this brand, you've had a number of recent collaborations, right? You recently did one with Black Star Line, right?
Yes, with Privada and Black Star Cigars. Black Star Line Cigars. Yeah, great, awesome guy, and that was set up through Brian at Privada, and I think a big success. And obviously that made it's something different to bring into the market, and at a time when there's a lot going on in the world. So I was really excited. Privada's doing a lot of exciting things, and we're having a lot of success with them. And it means a lot to me that we were one of the brands that he approached to get involved into that project.
And then the other thing you did back in 2017 is you had expanded the production of your Smoke and Shield cigar. Yeah,
we did the original Smoke and Shields with John Bellico, actually, who just retired this week. Happy retirement to John, who's the national president of the Smoke and Shields. And so we did the original Epic Smoking Shields New York edition, which actually we sold more of that cigar in Germany than we did in the US. It's incredible. And our distributors in Germany donated a portion of the proceeds to the Smoke and Shields. And then later, shortly after that, I did the Smoke and Shields project. We did 2 cigars for Aaron Perkins and the Maryland Smoke and Shields. We did a Corojo blend and a Habano blend with the Maryland chapter. So it was, very successful. The Maryland chapter actually purchased the cigars and sold to retailers. The New York cigar we distributed ourselves at that time, and right now it's not in the market right now. They've done some stuff recently. The Florida chapter has done some stuff with Eric, from Espinosa, and they're just a great group. And anything we can do, to support that. Obviously, I did 10 years policing in Canada. So that's got a special place, in my heart. And we hope to do more with them and or more police related cigars. So we're giving back and doing different things.
Well, we all thank you for your service. That's special. So being Canadian and having some connection to the loosely connected to the Queen because it's on your money. You're celebrating 4th of July with us this weekend?
Of course. Yeah. We'll be on the water. I mean, we're on the water today. I'll be on the water tomorrow with my friends. I've got some great Brazilian friends that live here in Miami and groups of friends. Obviously, July 1st just passed, which is Canada Day. I didn't have a chance to celebrate Canada Day. I was working and we were a lot of meetings. Obviously, in the U.S., the July 1st is not a holiday. But my friends in Canada were celebrating on July 1st.
Wow, very good.
Yeah, we'll definitely be out and about tomorrow for sure. Probably on the water and smoking some good cigars, some Epic cigars.
So does the Canadians set off fireworks on Canada Day? Is it a big?
They do. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. There were some people. We were on the water this afternoon. There were some fireworks going off this afternoon.
I'm sure as the sun sets, you'll have some fireworks going off.
Yeah.
I'm here, man. I'll start hearing the fireworks going. The dog will start barking, and this time of the year, my poor dog, he hides. Let's talk a little bit about. So you sent me some stuff, and we can go through a little bit about the line. All right. So we talked a little bit about the 10, but the other ones. Let's see. So the Epic Maduro, which, by the way, Andy Tassetti, who's following us, says this is an awesome cigar. So
thank you.
So this,
appreciate it.
Just quickly explain the blend on this one.
On the Epic Maduro, that was originally the first cigar that I had launched. The original launch had a Brazilian wrapper, Dominican binder, Dominican Nicaraguan filler. Later we changed the binder to Cameroon binder, and that was probably in 14. And the cigar has been the same ever since. So we have the core line, which is the Maduro. It's called the Maduro Reserva now. But we also have a Maduro Fuerte, which is basically the same blend. It has the Arapiraca wrapper, has a Cameroon binder, and then Dominican and Nicaraguan filler. But it's got a little more Dominican Ligero and some Viso to kind of balance out that blend. But it's on the fuller side as far as strength, as opposed to the core line Maduro, it's got that dark wrapper, but it's really a medium cigar. And it's a cigar that, I've even given to people people that never smoked before, depending on the situation. If they're finished dinner, having some drinks, rum or wine, I've given that to a first-time smoker, and they've had a great experience. So, that's our number one seller in the lineup of Epic.
So the second one, which is one of my favorites in the portfolio, the standard portfolio, is La Rubia. Yeah,
that was one of the, most recent cigars I guess we've launched, and we had the Maduro, Corojo, Habano. We had the Project E, the Maduro Fuerte, and then the La Rubia came after that. And you struggle because I'm more of a medium to full-bodied guy, which most people are, but it's important to have a Connecticut in your lineup. And so we started to work on that. And what's unique about that cigar, I guess what makes it different than a typical Connecticut, is we use a San Andreas binder in that blend. And obviously Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers, which we use in all the Epic blends. But that really kind of set that cigar off, and it really made me feel like something that I want to smoke on a regular basis. And that's a cigar that I can smoke in the morning with a coffee or at night with a single malt. And so we've gotten feedback, and thank you. So
I love that cigar. Then we have the Habano. So is the Habano got a different binder than Maduro, or is it just a Habano on the outside?
The The Habano actually has a Cameroon binder as well. Yeah, and that was a blend that that Jose Blanco worked on with me. At that time, I just kind of moved away from real estate and had spent a lot of time with Jose and Emma, and they were giving me direction on sort of how to build the brand and to kind of grow and develop. And so we were getting ready for the show that year, or 6 months prior to the show, and he said, you need to have a Habano blend, and we really started working on that, and that's got Jose's name all over it. It's been a well-received cigar. The Habano, the Lancero in that blend is one of my favorites. I mean, I love them all. It comes in 5 sizes, but it's been a super successful cigar, and great to have that opportunity to get feedback and to work with someone like Jose, who's done amazing things and continues to do great things in the industry.
And then the last one is the Corojo.
Mm-hmm. We started the Corojo started actually right around the same time I started the Maduro, and that cigar that changed over some time as well. I tweaked that cigar when we launched the Habano. And the reason we tweaked it is because Jose had been spending a couple of weeks back and forth to La Romana. I was living on the north coast of Dominican, and I was going back and forth to La Romana, meeting with Jose and Emma, and he was smoking it a lot. He's like, Dean, there's something missing in this cigar. And I won't get into all the details, but we tweaked that cigar at that same time, right around 2015. And it's been, we've had success. We saw more Corojos in Texas for some reason than anywhere else in the U.S. So,
well, speaking of Texas, Chris Colter chimes in. He says, I'll have to try that one. I think he was talking about the La Rubia, maybe. I'm not sure because I don't remember when it came up. But he says, the Underground keeps a good stock of Epic. So I'm so happy you're in the Underground Cigar Lounge. Is that recent?
No. Underground's been a big supporter for years, even through my ups and downs of growing the business. Don has always been supporting us, and obviously Chef has been there. I did an event there about 8 weeks ago. I did an event over there. So they've been big supporters. I mean, they're one of the best in the industry, and from a social media standpoint, and obviously the events they do. And we're actually working on a special project for the festival.
NFG 22?
Yes, exactly. So
Don
and
I expect to be there because I usually go. Didn't go last.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. So I've been to Texas even through COVID, which is it's kind of crazy, but I was in Texas almost the whole month of October. I drove up from Florida, and some shops were open, some weren't, and so I was spending time just still connecting with people, and even doing business. I mean, cautiously, but it's kind of, Texas is sort of been up and down like Florida. It's open, it's closed, it's and we've got to be careful. But I've been kind of nonstop, even through the challenges we've been having.
Now, Erica Everett just chimed in because she reminded me that you will be in Sanford at the Executive Cigar Lounge in Sanford, Florida.
This Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday. Absolutely. I don't know if you've ever been there. It is.
Yeah, beautiful. They have these guys have some of the Sanford and the other location, which is in
Melbourne, where I am.
Melbourne. These are some of the nicest lounges in Florida. I mean, these guys really they knocked it out of the park. So we opened the account with them at TPE, and that was Erica driving force for that, and can't wait to get up there. Cigar Mike's going to be there from Atlanta, and we've got a really nice event planned on Tuesday this weekend. I know there's a hurricane coming to Florida, but we'll see what happens. But I'm headed there this morning. So
you got the calm before the storm there for sure. At Bay, it's so smooth, man. It's not going to look like that on Monday.
It's literally beautiful.
It's nice and glassy, but I'm not looking forward. But it looks like it's kind of didn't intensify much more. But we'll have to wait and see. These things get stupid and get into the straits. So
Yeah,
If
exactly.
I can, I'm. What time does that event start?
You know what? I'm not sure. I need to take a look.
Well, Erica, just chime in on here and tell me when
Yeah,
the event starts.
chime in.
I definitely want to try to swing over there.
It'd be great to see you. I'll bring
Yeah,
that shirt.
you and Mike.
It's time. It's time, bro. You need that new shirt.
There you
Go
go.
Epic shirt.
I need a shirt. My wife.
Yeah.
See, I have a whole drawer of cigar shirts. It's just cigar shirts. You know, she made me go through it all last year and throw a bunch of them away that were all ratty and got burn holes in
You were telling me exactly. Yeah.
it. I said, "You're not throwing this one away." I'm sorry. This one stood the test of time.
We're gonna get you updated this week for sure.
Yeah, so Chris actually said it was awesome to meet you, and knowing the people behind the cigar can make them even better. We'll be looking forward to your next UG visit. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that as well. So thank you for that.
All right, I'm going to take a moment here to do a little shout out to the sponsors that I have for the show today, because without them, this is always a little bit harder to do. So we're just going to come in here and do a quick talk out. So today's show is brought to you by Tarazona Cigars. Tarazona premium handmade longleaf cigars are each rolled to the highest quality by masterful rollers. Each hand that touches the process takes pride in the quality and craftsmanship of every cigar that goes into every box of Tarazona. So next time you're looking for a fine smoke, do it with passion and reach for Tarazona. You can follow Tarazona Cigars on Facebook and Instagram and visit them at www.tarazonacigars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by La Jolla del Chan. La Jolla del Chan is a dream come true for husband and wife Gabby El Chan and Liz. They want all the hands that work the tobacco leaf in their home country of Puerto Rico to have the same opportunity to expose their products. They call it La Jolla del Chan because they cultivate part of the product, and at some point they want to be able to supply the world with their native tobacco leaf. The pride that Gabby and Liz feel is the same pride of all those who work the tobacco leaf, and for this, they deserve a portal that represents them. Thank you for supporting our country, they say. We will resist. Follow them at www.lajolladelchan.com and El Chan Cigars on Instagram and Facebook. Today's show, lastly, is brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova Cigars is a family-owned and operated premium cigar company where only the highest vintage tobacco and the most skilled hand workmanship go into the making of each Platinum Nova cigar. This results in a timeless blend of art and craftsmanship. The Nova brand and the family's work are a tribute and honor to their grandfather, to always remember him and his infinite passion for the finest cigars. Their love for cigars started with their grandfather, a dedicated master blender and entrepreneur in the cigar industry. So the next time you're looking for an exquisite cigar experience, pick up a Platinum Nova. You can check them out at www.novacigar.com and on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. By the way, if you haven't seen it, there's always a 15% discount on Platinum Nova cigars by using the code Boston Jimmie 15. And right now they're running a special promo through this 4th of July week where you can go get a BOGO flash buy, where you could buy one pack of 5 cigars for $71.45 and get the second one at 50% off. So all of it is free shipping. So for $107, you get 10 ultra premium cigars. No, you can't use the Boston Jimmie for that promo, unfortunately. So that's my the sponsors for today's show. Without them, as I said, it's always a little harder to do. All right. So, love sponsors. Good to me. All right. Let's talk Nat Seago. You're going to teach me a little bit about what I got in this bag.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nat Seago brand, been around since 1965.
Yeah.
And
They started original rejects, the Cuban legends, the Nicaraguan rejects. And it's been incredible, but and I've been learning, and learning about it obviously over the last couple of years as well. But I guess the first, the most important thing I could say about Natsico is they're produced by Omar Ortiz in Nicaragua, who's, very well known, master blender. But more than that, the Natsico brand is just literally quality and value. It's the only way I guess I can explain it, because they've, all the lines in Natsico, from the 1965, the Liga 4, the Casino Real, the Elephant Ears, the HHB Gold, the HHB Connecticut. These are all premium cigars that are, retailing in that, $6 to $8 range. That it's unbelievable. And yeah, there you go. That's the 1964 Liga. We just 2 new lines to that blend. We added a Corona size and a double. I think it's a double Toro, which is a 60, but in the box press it comes down to like a 56. Awesome line of cigars. The 1965 has been rated from anywhere from 89 to 92. Most recently a 92 in Cigar Aficionado. The Casino Real got best value cigars under $6. 92 rating in Cigar Aficionado. It's just making quality cigars for such a long time, and it's great. We've got a full portfolio. I mean, between Epic and Natsico, we've got an amazing portfolio of lines. That's the HHB Gold, and then we have the HHB Connecticut as well. The classics.
And then there's the elephant ears.
The elephant ears, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, looking at the bands, okay, this is very classic, right? Mm-hmm. The Casino Royale is classic, getting to modern. This is the HHB is just
gold.
But then the elephant ears. So the elephant ears attracts me a little bit, only because I love uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about elephant ears. Well, why elephant ears?
It's be hard to go into a lot of detail. That's one of our cigar that Arthur created, the owner and founder, obviously, of Xander Gregg and Natsico. It's a cool cigar. Obviously, it's got the exposed binder filler in a lot of the sizes. We actually have that goes up to a 70 ring gauge as well, which doesn't have the exposed binder filler on it in the 70 ring gauge, but all the other sizes do. That cigar does extremely well in Texas for some reason, probably in Texas better than anywhere. Awesome blend. I love it. And the elephant ears is kind of, the ears being obviously that sort of shaggy foot at the end of the cigar. So that's why the name. And, this business is, a lot of it is branding, marketing, as we all know. And that's just a cigar that really I don't want to say it's a gimmick because it's really not, but it's branding. It was a branding opportunity, I believe, that Arthur saw, and that cigar is really well received. And we've got shops that just sell through it on a weekly, bi-weekly.
So when I saw the name Elephant Ears, and based on what you said, this is guy that owned the company, been around for a while. I think old man, because old man, your ears keep growing. Man, my father, he passed away at 86, but his ears were they were like this, and you don't realize it as you go on in life, but your ears just get bigger. So elephant ears.
That's true. We get shorter and the ears get bigger.
Your spine starts shrinking.
It's funny. I had one of our customers and a friend from Germany message the other day. She's like, Dean, you're getting shorter. And I'm like, getting shorter. And I'm just under 6 foot. And I consider myself a pretty big guy. On a good day, I could be 230 or I could be 250, depending on how much I'm eating or drinking and COVID and so on and so forth. But the last few weeks, especially last weekend, I was in Atlantic City with the Ron Jaworski Foundation at the golf event. And I mean, all these dudes, there were so many NFL guys there that were literally, you know, towering over me. Like you're shrinking. And 3 weeks ago, I was at the we were in Baltimore at the Jonathan Ogden. We have a partnership with the Jonathan Ogden Foundation, and we were supporting his golf event and his charity. And I mean, this guy is like, I feel like I'm literally like 3 feet high when I'm next to this dude. Like literally, like he could literally, his hand covers my whole face. And he's such a great dude and everything. You know, these guys, what I love about being, you know, having the opportunity to work with these foundations and charities is to see what they do. And they're giving back so much, man. These guys are worth millions and millions of dollars. They've made their money. Their kids are growing. They've got so much going on, and yet they still focus on giving back. And you know, from Ogden to Ron Jaworski, I mean, he's one of the biggest, obviously, in Jersey, Philly, Atlantic City, and then you know, we're involved with the Cal Ripken Foundation as well. And what these guys do is incredible. And for us to be able to work with them and obviously, you know, give to those organizations and help see grow our brands and partnerships and awareness with our brands, it's incredible, man. It's just awesome. And that's what you know, we couldn't do that before. Before I didn't, you know, when I was Epic, before Epic became part of Natseco and Xander Gregg, I mean, literally, I didn't have the resources, the finances to you know, to sponsor these events, to give away cigars, to be part of this. And, you know, it's just incredible. And spending time with these guys is unbelievable.
Now, and you make a really good point that, you know, the cigar industry, they help a lot of people. Tremendous amount of charities that are out there, you know, going from Cigars for Warriors to the Blue Line charities, to just helping people, the children, the Fuente Foundation. I know we've been trying to help out the farmers in Nicaragua from the hurricanes last year, out in Jalapa. Again, and if people haven't, you know, chimed in on that, there's an article in the news section of Stogie Press. You can search for it. And it gives you a donation link where you can help donate to help these people who are in great need. And that's what we do. You know, it always irritates me that, you know, we have an FDA that doesn't see the whole picture. All right.
Exactly.
You know, they don't get it. And, you know, we need to do a much better job at promoting the goodness of this industry.
Absolutely, Jimmie. And you know, I'm just speaking for us, but I don't know one brand in the industry that's not giving back some way, shape, or form and doing good things. I don't care how big the brand is or how small. I think this business lends itself to giving back and to building relationships and to helping when we can at some level. And you know, even, you know, when I started Epic, any way I could, it might have been minimal at that time, you know, any opportunity I had where I could donate or raise awareness or raise funds for charities and groups, you know, I did what I could. And to now be able to do that on another level is incredibly satisfying. But it's part of, you know, growing business and part of being successful. You know, the more you give, the more you receive.
And sometimes, like you said, it's sometimes it's just your voice, it's just you, it's the ability to build awareness. I remember on my 60th birthday, I did a big huge party I threw for myself at Executive Cigar Lounge here in Melbourne, and awesome. Part of that was raising awareness for autism, and we raised a couple $1,000. From that, people would, you know, tossing some money in, you know, going on their thing, boom, you know, and going on the phone and making donations, and you know, and even to help with like Jesse Flores and his daughter. Mm-hmm. I remember last year we cranked that up, and God, man, we raised over a weekend like $6,000, okay, to help them out.
When people come together, it's incredible what can happen. So. Yeah.
Now, when you create your cigar blends. Um, I have two questions on this. One, you use multiple factories, and two, are you always hands-on with the blend?
I am. We've only used outside of the AJ, obviously, which a blend that was created by AJ. All the other blends that we've created for Epic have been created in the. It used to be called Charles Fairmore in the factory. Now it's called Tabacalera von Eycken. And all those blends have been produced with Rolando, who's our master blender. Rolando Villamil he's the face and the guy behind Christoph Cigars. He's worked with Glenn Case over all these years to create, amazing blends. And Rolando has been my mentor in Epic from day one. And because I was living in the Dominican, I had the opportunity to work on these blends and then put them in hands of other people like Jose Cejas and Jose Blanco to kind of smoke and give me feedback as well. And 9 years being in the Dominican, I would literally take our test bundles out of the factory and go see these guys on the weekend and give them cigars. I'd be like, give me some feedback. What do you think? How is this? How is that? And so, I'm a guy from Canada, retired cop, played hockey, real estate. I've been all over the place, but I was in a position to absorb all of this amazing stuff and to live in the Dominican for 9 years. And so everything in Epic is a creation of all the people that I surrounded myself with that are, much smarter than me and have a lot more knowledge than me. And, even Arthur from Xander Gregg and Nat Seco, and obviously Omar Ortiz and these guys from Nicaragua. I mean, they have a lot more knowledge. And so I take that in and learn and grow. And that's why we're having success. It's not a kind of, go in and create a cigar and put a label on it. It's never been that. And I've always taken advice. And I think that's why we're having success. And it's a long-term, game and a long-term vision to grow these brands over the next, 20, 30 years. It's been 10 years and I feel like it's been a blink. The last 2 years have been incredible. But we've got 20, 30 years to go to really, get these brands established. I mean, you look at companies like Fuente, Davidoff, La Aurora. I mean,
Look at my father. My father was a boutique nobody brand back in the early 90s.
Yeah, Ernesto Perez,
Yes.
Pete Johnson, all these guys, Jonathan Drew. It's amazing, So we're just kind of we're finding our place and developing our customer base and relationships. And that's what builds the brand at the end of the day. I want Epic to be part of people's lineup, once a month or once every couple of weeks. And the same with the Nat Seco brands. It's about introducing, giving people a great smoke, finding something in our portfolio that fits whatever smoker. And I really believe people nowadays are smoking more different things than they've ever done. And people aren't kind of just smoking one brand. I really believe the new smokers are really enjoying different things. And then when you see guys, you see clubs like Pravada, you see, all these different cigar clubs that are coming out. It's kind of like it's like the craft beer industry. People want to try different things, have great experiences and enjoy the culture.
So when going back to blending, with your experience now with blending, does every leaf lend itself to being blended with another leaf, or are there some leaves that just don't work together?
Yeah, I mean, some leaves burn differently. Ligero is obviously, the Dominican Ligero is a leaf that burns differently. So you have to combine it with fillers and with other binders that burn more slowly. And so, yeah, it's a trial and error process for sure. And some things don't work. I mean, even with the La Rubia, I tried 4 or 5 different binders with that cigar. And I just kept coming back to me as a typical Connecticut that I didn't really want to smoke. And it wasn't until we put the San Andreas in there. And I never thought, San Andreas to me at that time was always, that's a wrapper leaf. I'm going to use the San Andreas wrapper and we're going to figure it out. And we had used it in the Project E, but it wasn't until we put the San Andreas in the La Rubia blend as a binder that it changed. I mean, literally, it's like the light came on, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is awesome! Like, this is a great stick." And yeah, so it's just taking advice. I mean, from people who know a lot more than me about that.
And that's
Yeah.
very true. And it's I always find it fascinating to talk to people who do blend and listen to how they talk about it. And not only once the blend is done, but there are some cigars, like a lot of people like to age their cigars, right? You know, they put them in a humidor, they take a few out, they buy a box, they put a few away, and they just let them age. But not all cigars age the same. Not all leaf ages the same. Okay. Do you have any comments on what, like, wrappers and binders don't age as well as others?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the Maduro wrapper, for example, even in the Epic Maduro and the Maduro Forte, that wrapper takes longer to dry. It's fermented. We double and triple ferment that when we get it from our suppliers. So there's a lot of work that goes into that, just that wrapper leaf before we put it on the cigar. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. We're not just, buying wrapper from the suppliers. We're taking it in, and then Rolando and his team at our factory are double and triple fermenting that to get it to where we need it. So it's really gonna change that cigar, make it a different experience than when that wrapper comes through the door in the bales. So it's awesome, And I listen, I love it. I love a fresh cigar. Like, I love to smoke a cigar right off the rolling table.
Do you really?
I do. Like, I just something about that, but it changes. Obviously, it changes. 2 weeks in, 6 weeks,
dramatically.
Yeah, dramatically. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a hard time smoking the fresh rolled cigars after all these years. I go to events where there's a fresh roll going on, and I mean, let's be real. They wet them down when they roll it, when they bump. And in the end, it's kind of wet inside. It's not going to burn. Don't expect the burn on this that you want.
Well, of course,
you do it for flavor.
Well, the funny thing is, and this was one of those defining moments in my experience with cigars. This is long before Epic, but I was living and working in Turks and Caicos at that time. But I did a trip to the Bahamas with a buddy of mine, and we went to the Grey Cliff Hotel in the Bahamas. It used to be a former prison. Now it's like a wine cellar. They've got one of the largest wine selections in the Caribbean. And this exquisite, 5-star restaurant. And we went there for dinner, and the dinner experience was incredible. But they had a roller in the lobby, and then the maitre d' would come to your table after dinner, and he would say, "Would you like a cigar?" And of course, we're gonna have a cigar. And this is going back like 2006 or something. And he's like, would you like mild, medium, or full body? And I remember we're walking into the restaurant. I see this old guy. He's probably like 65, 70s, rolling cigars. And I'm like, wow, I can smell it. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then, the maitre d' comes over. We finish dinner. And I'm like, yeah, full body. My buddy's like, full body. And he walks away. And I kind of look at the corner of my eye. And the guy's making the cigar right there for us. Literally, the guy's rolling it. Wrapper, filler, binder by himself in the lobby. There's a grand piano there. There's like the ambiance is like, it's like blowing my mind. And so then the guy comes back 10 minutes later with these 2 cigars. And I think they were like, it was like a torpedo or something. And then he's got them on a tray with this white napkin. And then he picks up the cigars and he lights a match, and he holds the match off of the cigar to dry the wrapper, right? He's holding it like an inch away from the cigar. He's rolling it, and he takes the first cigar. He does this for like 5 minutes. Then he puts it down. He picks up the second cigar, does it, and then he cuts and presents the cigar to us and lights it. And I was like, my mind was just like, right? And it was probably, when I think about cigar experiences, that was one of those ones that I was like, I'll never forget. And it's funny because way before Epic, before Natsica, before all this stuff, I did a Turks and Caicos cigar in 2007. And the idea behind that cigar, well, there weren't cigars there, and a lot of cigars in Turks and Caicos at that time. Some of the jewelry stores and shops had cigars here and there, but there weren't really, you couldn't really get a quality cigar in Turks and Caicos. So, and I was traveling back and forth to Dominican, just buying Davidoff's Fuentes to gift my customers and clients in our real estate development. And I'm like, if they can make a cigar in the Bahamas like that, an experience like that, then I can make a cigar for the Turks and Caicos Islands. And I actually blended and created a cigar for the Turks and Caicos. We had it in all the hotels, had it in all the resorts, the duty-free shops, the liquor stores. And that was kind of my first sort of experience in the cigar industry. And then that's kind of what led to Epic, and, you know, and so on and so on. So, but it's just awesome. And that's kind of why the fresh rolled cigar, it is what it is. But I've always had an appreciation for that. And of course it's going to change. And, but it's wow. The art of what we love, you know.
It's a great story. By the way, that sunset's starting to look nice. You got to kind of divvy the boat around a little bit, you know.
It's crazy. Hang on a sec. I'm literally gonna pull to the right, and it's gonna blow your mind. Yeah.
There we go, folks. We're live from the
get real epic right now. There you go. How about that?
Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Oh man.
Literally.
That's fantastic. Yeah. We're gonna take another quick break. We're gonna go through what's new in news and reviews on Stogie Press this week. So in the news cycle, we had a few things. I did put out the Taking It to the Nub, Rodriguez Cigars, Key West, and Papas Pilar Rum episode out on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen that, you can go here and check it out. Espinosa Cigars has announced their third installment of the Las Six Provincias Las Villas. And what's cool always about this is the box that it comes in. All right. So this is box press 5.5 by 54 Robusto, made at AJ's San Lotano factory. But they use original artwork from the local Cuban artist Edwin Gutierrez, and it depicts scenes from Las Villas before the communist revolution. So this is absolutely beautiful presentation. If you've never seen these boxes or never able to get your hands on one, this is the time he's going to be rolling these out and showcasing this at PCA later this week, or is it next week? I forget. And they're going to retail for $22 a cigar. The 10-count curio display is $220. And they've done only 1,000 of these displays. They expect to be in retailers in August of this year. The other news, Tarazona Cigars, one of our sponsors, has announced their La Bruja Broomstick PCA release. Now, this is the first time, I believe, that Tarazona has branched into the artistic side of cigars. So La Bruja stands for witch. So this is the witch's broomstick. So it's got a shaggy foot on it with some adornment on the bottom. And I would believe this is a little candela with some Connecticut and Maduro on it, with a nice craft finish at the top. This is a Solomon Vitola, and this has got an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and Jalapa and Condega fillers. So it's a 7 1/8 by 57. These are going to be retailing for $17 a cigar. They're going to come in 10-count boxes. So they're coming out just in time for Halloween. So check out the La Bruja broomstick from Tarazona. That's it for the news. I didn't get much other news cycles. I know there's a bunch of news that's been floating around. I don't always get on the news cycles with everybody, but pay attention to the news. There's a lot of new things that were coming out for PCA. We'll be seeing more of that as PCA comes along. As far as cigar reviews go, we did do, whoops, there you go. I'm going right into the world of admins. Okay, so cigar reviews, we only did one this week. I was so backed up with work, I had no time to really deal with all of this. I wish I did, but we did review. So I've reviewed all of the Blackbird Cigar Company cigars in the past, but I never reviewed the Jackdaw. And I don't know why. I think it might have been, I had it, I was somewhere, I was smoking it, and I just got so into it that I didn't write the notes down or take the pictures, or didn't have a camera. But I finally did it again, did it this time. This cigar, this is a spectacular cigar. I was blown away by this Connecticut cigar. All right. This is a Ecuadorian Connecticut shade with an Indonesian binder. So it gives you that nice sweetness in the background. It's got a bold filling of Dominican Republic, USA, and Corolla 99 from Nicaragua. And I was getting allspice and butter and cinnamon and cream and herbal, natural sweetness and pepper. There's no bite on the cigar whatsoever. There's no bitterness on this cigar. They come in these beautiful boxes, the orange box. The Jackdaw itself, all their cigars are named after different birds. And this particular one, the Jackdaw, comes from the crow family, and you can find these across Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa. And they come in two Vitolas, a Gran Toro 6x54 and a Robusto. I reviewed the Robustos. And you could just go through real quick on this beautiful ash line, beautiful burn. I mean, this thing, perfect ash cone coming down. I mean, it was just fantastic. Started with a little mild peppery note and then just got into this beautiful transition into herbal and natural sweet notes, and butter notes started coming in. I really enjoyed this cigar. I took no deductions on this whatsoever. And it did have I would say this is a box worthy with an excellent burn from bonus points. So if you get a chance to check out the Blackbird Jackdaw, you will be very surprised. It's a mild to medium in strength cigar, and you can enjoy this every morning with your cup of coffee for sure. So that's the news and reviews on Stogie Press. One of the things I was thinking about at the show as I was putting this all together this afternoon is we're in the 4th of July moment. And here's an interesting factoid about the 4th of July. One of the things is the number of hot dogs that are eaten during the 4th of July is largest that throughout any time in the year, right? And they say that it can go from, you can line them up from here to California, I think about 6 times, all right?
Wow.
Absolutely insane. Now, of course, I would say that with that said, I think that Kobayashi from the, who does the hot dog eating contest, he probably eats most of them, right? So that's tomorrow. I think that's tomorrow. If you haven't watched it, most people do. They watch these guys crazy stuff hot dogs and buns down their throat. But we'll see if anybody can break the record that's been held. But that's America. We're crazy. We like to follow such things. So that's a little trivia on 4th of July. Let's we're at the hour. I like to kind of wrap these up all the time with a little bit of a lightning round, so kind of keep it short and simple. One of the things, I see you out in the water, you're out with friends. Do you own a boat?
I don't. I hope to someday. I hope to someday. I don't. But you know what the saying is, it's better to have friends with boats than own one yourself. And the best day as a boat owner is the day you buy it and the day you sell it. I did own a boat in Turks and Caicos Islands when I was there. But once again, the best day was the day I bought it and the day I got rid of it. So, yeah.
So if you were to buy a boat again, what kind of boat would you buy?
I'd probably buy a Hatteras, a sport fish, or maybe like a big Sea Ray, like a 48 or a 50 sea ray. I just like to be on the water, grill food. I like to fish, but that's not, I can, you can always, charter a fishing boat. So I like to be on the water and just eat, drink, music, cigars, just anchor. I don't have to go very far. So yeah, I would probably something in that range.
Okay. Now you said you like to fish. So what's the largest fish you ever caught?
We did some tuna fishing in Turks and Caicos back in the day, and we caught some amazing yellowfin. It's probably somewhere on my Facebook, but we went to a place between Turks and Caicos and Bahamas. We did a fishing trip with some captains, and we hooked up about 10 or 12 yellowfin tunas in a matter of we sailed there, we drove there. It took probably 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get there, and we dropped lines and we literally hooked up. We had like 6 rods in the water, and they were all going at one point, and we we caught literally 6, 8, yellowfin between 30 pounds and 80 pounds in a matter of 30 minutes. And but actually I was here over the holidays, over Christmas this year. I had Randy Acosta, who's part of the Cal Ripken Foundation. He was in Fort Lauderdale with his family, and we did a fishing charter. And one of the sons from his neighbor caught this beautiful sailfish. I mean, literally. And I spent 5 years in Turks and Caicos, 9 years Dominican, never caught a sailfish. And literally, he caught this massive, beautiful sailfish. It was, we catch and release, but it was like mind blowing. This thing came out of the water 4 or 5 times. He reeled it all in by himself, and so that was just being there was an awesome experience. So yeah, but I grew up in Canada fishing lake trout, salmon and speckled trout, and I was catching trout in Canada bigger than I was when I was like 8, 9 years old. I mean, we were catching these lake trout that were literally 3-4 feet long,
Wow.
in the lakes in Canada. So yeah, I've been fishing since I could walk. So good memories for sure.
Earlier, you mentioned you played hockey, and obviously, being from Canada, I would expect nothing less. There's something big going on right now. You got the Canadians playing the Lightning.
Yeah.
To me, like the Lightning two-peats. What do you think?
Oh, well, listen, Montreal was my team. I played in Laval back in the day, so that's just outside Montreal. For a short moment, I played in Laval, and that's where Lemieux set all the Quebec Major Junior records, and then he went to Pittsburgh. Desjardins played in Laval. Gino Ojek played in Laval. I didn't play as long as these guys, of course, but Montreal's sort of been my team for 20 plus years. So I'm definitely rooting for Montreal, but listen, Tampa has been there. They know what's going on, so it's gonna be a good.
They're up 3-0, right?
I know.
I mean, I have a hard time being originally growing up in New York when I was a kid. You played hockey in the street, and I was a big Islanders fan back in the day. And when I moved to Florida, it was like, it wasn't here, and they started getting it involved, and I was like, hockey in Florida, hockey in Cal. I mean, where does this even happen? Where do people play in the?
Awesome.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, where do these kids play? And it's like, it's so different today than it was then, right?
Yeah.
And you just went out, you got a stick and a puck or a ball, and you went out in the street and you played, you made a makeshift net, you moved them when the cars came down the street, right?
Yeah.
It's like a huge expense for a family if the kid wants to play hockey.
It's unreal. I was actually in Lauderdale. I live in Lauderdale now. I was in North Miami for a while. I'm up in Lauderdale now, and I ran into a guy last week who does some recruiting. He does some refereeing. Canadian guy. He's got his business quite established, and I haven't run into anybody in the hockey industry in Florida for years. I mean, as long as I've been here. And so I get chatting with this guy, and he's like, yeah, we've got a senior league, we've got a pickup league, and there's rinks here, here, and here, and they're opening up some new rinks. He's like, you should come out and play. And I'm like, that'd be great. I haven't been on skates since 2004, but I mean, you start looking at the price of equipment and gear. I mean, it's literally just to get set up to play, it's $5,000. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, to get skates, shoulder pads, knee pads, gear, a couple sticks, bag, whatever. Literally, if you want the good stuff. So yeah, it's incredible, man. It's
Now
incredible.
we were simple, right? I played goalie, and I didn't have a goalie stick, right? Couldn't afford a goalie stick. So my brother had a couple of hockey sticks. I took one of his hockey sticks and I slapped some boards on the bottom and on the side, turned it into a goalie stick, right? And then some lady up the street was throwing away an old foam rubber mattress. So I went and got that. I cut it up and made, leg protectors, right? And
sure.
Ankles up to my crotch, right? And then my father was a little league coach, so I had the catcher's protector, right? And then I had a catcher's mask, and I had a kind of a batting helmet kind of thing, and I taped the batting helmet around the man so it wouldn't come off. And I would just we played with my street played with a hard rubber puck. We played with a regulation puck, right? Other ones played with rubber balls, plastic pucks. With our street, we said no, hard rubber. And I would just lay down and take slap shots, man. Hit me. You're not going to hurt me. All right. And I would block the goal. I was like, hey, this is not that hard to play goalie,
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy, Jimmie. Listen, I remember my dad telling me stories, when he was growing up. And my dad was a guy that he passed away at 72 a few years ago, but he never missed a practice. He never missed a game. He worked the clock when the guys didn't show up. When the coach didn't show up, he got behind the bench. Like, he was just one of those guys. And that was my life, for years and years. And I remember him telling me stories. They would take, and anyone from Canada can appreciate this, but they would literally, when he was playing hockey as a kid, they would take the Sears catalogs, which were like, 2.5 inches thick, the original Sears catalogs, and they'd wrap them around their shins and go play hockey, with their skates. And it's like, to me, it's like mind blowing. So
that's what we did. I mean, that's so. Last question, and those that are watching, that have watched the show enough, they know what's coming. You may not. Everybody gets this question. There's no context to this question. It's a simple answer. I need to highlight you for a second. So, what you on here? Okay. Simple question: skirts or pantsuits?
Skirts.
There you go. You are in the majority. I am one for pantsuits because I always feel that a woman that can rock a pantsuit can rock a skirt, not necessarily the other way around.
This is true.
So. All right. So I'm going to give you the last word.
Jimmie, listen, I really, we've been working on this. I swear, I feel like it's been a year, since we started talking about me coming on, and it's been a crazy year to say the least. And every opening you've had, I've been on the road or traveling or driving. And I really didn't want to do this from a car or from a hotel room. I really wanted to spend time with you because I appreciate what you do. You're one of the best in the business that really has a passion for and a love for this industry. And I've known you, all these years and followed you, and I don't know anyone that's ever said a bad word about you. And I really appreciate you spending time with me, and I appreciate you reaching out to me as much as you have so we could set this up. And it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to, our team, our brands, and to all, obviously, all the people watching too. It's incredible. I always say Providence is moving. That's one of those things that I believe in and I say. So you never know what's going on around you or in the world, but people are watching this or hearing about this or seeing your blogs and your reviews, and you've given us a lot of love over the years and treated us fairly. And it means a lot because I know that at the end of the day leads to great things for our brands, great things for me. And, I really appreciate you and the work you do, because you're doing it out of the love for the business, and not a lot of people really understand at the end of the day, what you do and a lot of guys that are in your position do. And it's a lot of selfless work, and it's a passion for the industry. And, you know, that's what makes us successful at the end of the day. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And while I close out the show, just move that boat around again. I want to see the sunset.
It's just about just
So I want I want to thank everybody that watched. Again, love, like, share this Facebook live feed. You do this throughout the week. Next week on Saturday on the Wheel of Wonderfulness, you will have an entry in the Wheel of Wonderfulness, and there will be some good stuff going to the winner, as we do every week. So I want to thank you. I want to thank all the sponsors for the show and all the sponsors on Stogie Press. You guys make this a little easier for me to do. It allows me to take the trips I have to take, to go visit the different lounges, go to the shows, to bring you the content, to show you what the industry is all about. So I appreciate everybody. If you haven't gone out to the YouTube channel lately, go out there, subscribe to the Stogie Press YouTube channel if you want. And with that, I want to close the show. Thank you, everybody. This is Boss and Jimmie out. Stogie Press. Peace